Ceán, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's a very nice movie. What interested you in producing and working on it with David?
Well, that again, that's where I come in with whatever David wants to do. I'm perfectly happy to ride his coattails. David's got great taste, and so he's going to pick the projects for himself, and I'm happy to get to do that.
What did you like about the story?
This, like everybody, I think that you've probably met with, it touches you in a way. Maybe it wouldn't touch you the same way as it touches me, but it felt special. It felt like it was the right time to have a story like this that had that kind of, it has a good message in a way, that, not to fear death and that it's okay to grow old. There's so many little messages in here that I felt were very positive. I mean, we had Teamsters cry when they read the script, so it was one of those things that, there's a lot of reasons to like it.
How do you and David work together? I mean, what is the teamwork like that you do on a project?
Fincher has producing skills himself. He's not somebody that necessarily needs another opinion on a script or who to cast. But he's very, very detail oriented. We have a kind of a running joke that David doesn't really need a DP or a producer or production designer. He just runs out of time. But because he has that kind of ability to see the big picture, it's really more about watching his back, kind of to make sure that he's, as the person who we're really, who's really dragging us along with him, not dragging us along, but who is, the leader creatively, to support him. And there's an understanding after so many years of how to do that.
He's one of the really great directors of our time, but there are a few others, and people always like to compare them. Would you say that David Fincher is more like the Spielbergian person or the Kubriesque person that,
I think he learned from both. He's learned from both, and he learned from, studying Polanski, Pollock. He's learned from, he has so many films that he loves. We've often asked him, what's your 10 favorite? Just 10. He can't do it. So no, if you give me a lot more, then I can give you that. And so I don't know that I guess what makes up people is partly what they've studied, or what they bring to it, just like we all are. We're partly our parents, but we're also who we are. But I wouldn't say it's any one person.
What was your greatest challenge on creating Benjamin Button?
Two things. It was getting to a budget is difficult this day and age, and something in the visual effect world. This has never been done before, and so when you're going down that path, that can be a bit scary. And I think that was probably the most difficult. But we also felt we could do it. We had a team that we'd worked with for a long time on other projects, so we had a lot of confidence there. Kathy and Frank has seen this movie die. Few deaths. I saw it die a couple deaths. But I don't know, and this time we thought, no, it's going to happen this time.
Why did you think so?
I saw it the first time I worked for Fincher was in '92, and it was on his desk. And back then he loved the concept of it. When Eric's script came back, it was you could tell he's so passionate about it. And I think maybe we didn't know so much as we wanted, as we manifested it into existence.
Was it important to have Brad, Kate, Tilda, all these, big movie stars sign up to the project to make it the vehicle that it is now? Or is the story great by itself and that was just another, plus that made it so great?
I look at it as we got first choice. We got all the cast as our first choice. And that really has to say something, I think, for Eric Roth and for David, that team, they felt they were in good hands. Because when you get, you go out and, literally first choice. It wasn't like, where was, kind of any thought, gosh, it'd be great if we could have this person, and they were there and waited. We had crew that waited for this film to happen. People who turned out 3 movies waiting for it.
You've worked with David 5 times on the feature movie, or feature film.
I think this is the 5th.
The 5th,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And Brad and David have worked 3 times
Yep.
together. So what's your working relationship like between the 2 of them and between the 3 of you?
Mother. Maybe I bring more bad news. They could kind of, hopefully I support them and letting them do what they do creatively and support it and make sure they can bring as much to the screen as they want. But what a treat for me, you know, to historically have been 7. I was on very, very little. I just helped him get it going, and then but on Fight Club, and this one, it's been a treat watching the two of them because they're good friends and they're very similar people.
In what ways?
Humor, the way they look at life, in the most positive ways. You know, they're good guys. They're good people.
In what way has David changed over the years, the way that he works visually, or has it been always the same style that he has created?
No, I think that he continually learns, and he continually flexes, you know, exercises, and we try things. We were, a lot of us on his film, we were relieved from Zodiac to this film to say, oh, we're going to do the same post pipeline. Because when you're consistently learning and doing new things and pushing that envelope, it's sometimes you feel like you're behind him. He's just always open and always curious.
Could you describe the feeling of, you know, you've been working on a project for probably 2 years or 3 years like this. Could you...
Going on to 5. And,
oh, 5.
And, yeah, next year.
Could you describe the moment of when the movie is finally finished and you see the finished product? What is it like for you as a producer and a working
The finished
partner?
product? Mm-hmm. I think it feels finished to me in 2 phases. When you see the final film and you're so used to it. This is one of the rare films I feel like I can watch over and over and over again, you know, and still kind of say, oh, you know, this is my favorite part, or I remember that moment, wish we'd done something differently. But on this also, it's such a long process. I kind of need to see what everyone else thinks, in a way, you know? How does the world feel about it? I don't think it's going to feel finished until I see it opened up internationally and see how they feel about it.
Is it important for you to have a big blockbuster? I mean, to have it in the charts on the, you know, pole position?
Getting your next job. But it is important to have people go to your movies for that reason. Absolutely, it is. You know, you don't get, as much as we like doing what we do, you need people to back you. You need the studios to finance you. There's the business of it. And if people don't go, it's not as easy the next time.
But does it influence your opinion about the project that you've worked on?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You have to, it's like getting plans to line up. Is the actor available? Is the script ready? Do we need snow? All these things have to line up. And when everyone's in agreement, and the studio's in agreement, the director's in agreement, then that's a rare thing, and then you get to go.
Getting back to the movie and the script, is there a favorite scene that you had in the script, and then maybe a different scene that you had in the movie that you really liked, and why?
You know, there's not, because Fincher insists that, and he learned this lesson the hard way with Alien 3, that you have a script before you prep, period. And it's the smartest thing I think we do, because then we're never prepping something that's not going to be in the film. There are a couple of scenes missing in the film, and I miss them, but it's personal. Other people don't miss them. But for the most part with Fincher, you're doing pretty much what you planned on doing, even if it's a year before. Even sometimes the lens. I mean, he'll say to me, yeah, you know, it's going to be this and that, I'm going to do it on a, you know, snorkel, blah, blah. And you actually do a year later. That's unusual.
That is kind of unusual. Last but not least, there's a quote by Mark Twain that basically inspired Fitzgerald's short story, and it says, "Life would be infinitely happier if we could only be born at the age of 80 and gradually approach 18." Would you agree or disagree?
I agree with Fincher, and I'm going to quote him. He says, "Youth is not wasted on the young." And that we age exactly how we should and have experiences like we should. I agree with that.
So basically fate plays a small part, but at the end of the day you are in charge of your life?
You're in charge. It's your choice. You're a byproduct of the choices you make. It's my favorite line.